President John Dramani Mahama akma commentary be concerning the ekoso ewo Nigeria no. So mama background story kakra. Obedi adanse se uba West Africa ha se ya oman ya sebio insecurity sem akwa ape oman ya emunju kura wo West Africa ha se sia eye Nigeria. Every day you come wo nipa wo Nigeria every day ya attack village ewo Nigeria, especially north. Nti amasundwi eni kurum ho. Na eno na mampanyi John Dramani Mahama kasa na o kire se yes na ekoso wo Nigeria ni ade bi asebi yo ese efa no ho. Nti oda sori bi a obompae e de ma Nigeria because se di ten wo ho sisi a obunyina dodo na abeba Ghana because they are like 250 million people. Omo do so paka kra no mo adu 300 million. Di se di ten sisi ana ne ma nkoso yi a Ghana na ye oman ya omudi omani nyina be kire yenso ye kitikiti bi na ye kofa hin. Nti mampanyi John Mahama kire se ne yekoso wo Nigeria no ya ade bi a sebio se bibini bi ana se wa wo pe se niama ekoso ye ema oman Ghana na nkrofo ya mbeka ye hu wa ha no ese obompa se Nigeria niama be koso ye wo ho se ne be ya wamumbe bompi so e wa ha se Yenti mampanyi John Dramani Mahama nsema ole tuja. Let's go.
Nigeria is of keen security interest to us. If Nigeria does well, Ghana does well. I mean, when you have cousins, 200. Nigeria is of keen security interest to us. If Nigeria does well, Ghana does well. I mean, when you have cousins, 250 million of them, you want them to do well so that 1 million of them don't come drifting towards a small country like Ghana. So every day I wake up, I pray for Nigeria. I say, God, let Nigeria get their act together. And so I remember when President Jonathan, we all nominated Akin, then there was suddenly a change of government in Nigeria. And the new government came, and because Akin had been Minister of Agriculture in the previous government, we didn't know whether they were going to support him. And so I invited President Buhari to Pedro's Lodge. Everybody knows Pedro's Lodge. That's where the peace agreement for Biafra was signed. It's a historic place. And for the first time, they saw President Buhari smile. I took him to the ledge. I showed him where Nkrumah's bedroom was. We stood on the balcony, we chatted. And then when I had put him in the best mood and he was smiling, I said, but President, you know, Akin Adesina is our joint candidate, Ghana and Nigeria. And we agreed with President Jonathan, so I hope you're not going to make a change. And he assured me that Akin was their candidate, and I mean, everything else is history. He's moved us back. He's done phenomenal in the African development, and we're all proud of you, Akin. We're proud of Grace too, your family, the woman who has stood by you in thick and thin, and set up huge, rich enclaves next to African poverty where there's no clean drinking water. Those days are coming to an end. We must take advantage of what God has gifted us to make sure that we're able to create prosperity for our people, and we can do it. We started with the African Continental Free Trade here. We do have teething problems, but I'm sure that it's a good sign. Already we can see that trade between our countries is increasing. And so we do have the capacity to be able to create prosperity for our people and dignity. And the Global African Investment Summit, which Akin and Co are looking at, is one vehicle that we can utilize. But Akin, we all want to celebrate you. I mean, this is well earned. I remember when we nominated you for the African Development Bank. It was at the time when President Jonathan was president. And of course, Ghana and Nigeria are twins of the same mother, except when we fight over jollof and football. Otherwise, we are the same people. And like the MC said, a lot of the people in Ghana migrated from Nigeria. they find their roots from the Yoruba kingdoms and all that. And so the Ga people and all, migrated from Nigeria.
So this is President John Dramani Mahama. This man is not just a president, he's a historian. History all kind. 90% of Mrantian Mabao Muku school name history we. I'm telling you. Obi Ohoyan crisis here or Nim said they were migrated from Nigeria. Oh yeah. And Sautiti Oma or Marsh or more Martin Nigeria Japan. Usha Oma, I say Nigeria phony Yemian crime phony Yoruba for. I said they have something similar, something in common. You understand? Or more certain things in common. Because we are related. You understand? Now, we share Gwenja forces, say, we trace your history. They also migrated from places like Senegal. And they will be everywhere, be no by. You understand? And only history, no. And then 90% of Mabruno Muku school or Ghana, they don't know this history. Yeah, they are no more so no or moving about TikTok. So this is President John Dramani Mahama. And the Betana has a na ye can West Africa, some ye can Nigeria security na sema. People you see somebody saying we are Ghana ni I had then and cause Nigeria found. Really? Let me tell you, in a year there are more than 300,000 Nigerians in Mura Ghana. Oh yeah. And then to know Mura Ghana. Because Omuhunu say West Africa has a one. Ghana, they be a catch them say Ghana won and they the only country and Nigeria who so they can compete with. Because Nigeria for any other West African nation or any other West African nation I say a country be. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, they don't respect any of West African nation. Because Omuhunu say what the same level like you bet higher competition. You understand? Because it say Shatawale say was giant new stone boy beef. Now underground artists be working against was so only beef. And fat. And the Shatawale would rather prefer only stone boy beef because only a bigger like him. You understand? Shatawale would rather prefer only stone boy beef than underground artists be. And as one of these local artists, you understand? Nigeria for Nangaza say, aside of Mukuru, on my ya or Mukwa, communication make my flow well, no more getting things easy. Ghana. Oh yeah. Uncle Liberia, Uncle Cote d'Ivoire, Uncle Senegal, or Ghana. West Africa has a year research. On my year war Nigeria immigrant pa Ghana. Yeah, I'm telling you. And it's a Nigeria this keep now be a Dania. Their next destination be Ghana. That is why we are always praying say a hobby is safe because Nigeria deep kima be 10 million of them will come. And they be because it's our mind.